This week I'm joined by DS of Infinite Games Studios. Now, today not only do we get to see some of the incredible games he's created, but also we get to hear the incredible backstory behind some of his games. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And if you did, remember to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and stick around for future interviews and episodes. But without further ado, let's listen. Okay, hello, welcome to the show, Dennis. How are you doing today?
Hello, man. Very nice today.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it here. I want to know, the first thing I want to know is, why did you start developing games?
Well, everything started when I was a kid, obviously, 10 years ago, making video games since that day. And I always enjoy it to create playable and funny stuff. And I always was a guy who likes video games. And my dream since I was a kid was to buy my big game company. So that moment, it started doing a little horror game where you're in a bathroom and a dead woman tries to eat you. I think that's the origin of my dark ambience around my games. I think that's the real origin. Then my second game, if you want to hear this, was a game called Nightmare from My Bed that was fucked up by the people. And then it was a bad game, but I learned from it and make me understand how to do good games. So this is a proof that a failure is not a failure, really. You understand the things that you did, and you keep going while you do something. So failure is not something bad, and that's how I started making video games.
Well, that's really cool. I had no idea that you started that dark that early.
Yes. I'm very dark, really.
That's cool. Like your games are really cool. I really like the ambience behind them.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
So the next question I have to ask you, because a lot of people are trying to decide how they want to make their games. What engine did you use to make these games, and why did you choose it?
Well, I started with Blender Game Engine, making my video games. Blender is well. Right now, I'm just going to talk about. We're talking. I want to start with Unity better. I'm using actually Unity 3D because from all the games, the game engines that I use through the years, this is the easiest and more comfortable for me. The last 10 years I was using Blender Game Engine, which is a good game development tool, but this engine was too old now to create new game stuff and more hard than Unity, because I'm a visual programmer, so I can't program with Java or other language. Particularly, Blender uses visual programming. I was too afraid to use new environments because at that moment I don't know how it's going to be. But at Unity, there's a powerful tool that brings me the power to do the same as Blender. That's the reason why I use Unity, because I could do whatever I want. That's a funny thing to do the games that I want for people.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason as far as they go. That kind of confirms everything I've heard about Unity being a really good engine to use for developing games, especially for new people.
Yes, Unity is very easy to use. I think so much because I tried Unreal. I tried what is this called, CryEngine. Yes, CryEngine. Game Maker Studio is too easy to use. It's nothing bad. I don't know how is now Game Maker Studio 2 and all this kind of stuff. I'm old, but for me Unity is the most easy one to use. But obviously, if you doesn't know programming or all this stuff, you need some programmer to do this kind of stuff, because there's no way to do whatever you want without learn all this kind of stuff.
Okay, all right. That's some interesting points you make there. But all right, I want to switch back to something we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. The dark ambiance in your game and the theme behind your game. What was your inspiration for all of that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, but before do anything, what I do is think about what I really want, what my heart wants. If I want to tell a story, or if I want to just have fun, both are ways to start a project. My cancelled video game Eternal War 2 was hardly inspired by Silent Hill and Resident Evil. For Teak, I just became a young kid who just watched TV cartoon shows from Cartoon Network more than anything. And the show selected for Teak was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, a show that I was seeing since I have 6 years. The aesthetic and the disturbing style from the show is what inspired me to try something new. Cute and Suicidal was my idea. Mix a cute video game style with a cross story that talks about the death and the suicide. And for the gameplay mechanics, I already got inspired by Gravity by the Ghoulies and the roguelike style from The Binding of Isaac. And now let's go to the inspiration. This game was inspired by my girlfriend. She was trying to suicide, and that was so fucking scary for me. And I take it all the care and showing her that I could destroy the fucking world for her at that moment to make her happy. So this story is part in the game hidely, so you could find these references, and it's on the game. So this is my inspiration for Teak.
Wow, that's an incredible story.
Yeah, people say the same. Some people say, "Oh, you're crazy," but I think if you're not crazy, you are not going to create a good story or nice stuff.
I can understand that an element to making a good game means you got to be kind of weird. You got to be a little different.
Yes, of course. I think if you do what everyone does, then you're gonna fail because you are doing one thing like the other one. If you fucking do a do a Five Nights at Freddy's remake, this kind of stuff that people does, actually you're gonna fail because hell, Five Nights at Freddy's is unique, no? Well, why are you doing? Because there's like thousands of games that I was like, holy shit, dude! Why you can't do your own game? It's not hard, dude. I mean, this game Tick is based. It's the same game as Gravity by the Ghoulies, but in 2017. Is that? It's really that. People should be creative and do their own stuff for get people. It's risky because I can put, I don't know, Final Fantasy on my game and everyone will see it by the name, but you have to start little, I think.
Yeah. And you raise a good point on Game Jolt. Everywhere you go, you see a Five Nights at Freddy's remake.
Yes, it's stupid that the most there's categories in there, and the most who have all the 1,000 games is FNAF. Why even part of FNAF category over there? I don't really understand it, and that was so fucked up for me. Like I don't wanna reach anything like Game Job because everyone fucking find us of Freddy's stuff and all this kind of scary cute games. So I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna do a cute horror game with a brawler style, and that's Steep.
Yeah, and you did a really good job with it. I really enjoyed it. I hope I conveyed that in my video, but I really enjoyed that game.
Did you enjoy it?
It's great. It's on Steam now, right?
It's on Steam, but Steam told me about some problems that I have to fix with the options and all this kind of stuff. Because they find some problems, so it's off. But I will do. I'm actually finishing the whole game right now, so it will be soon update to Steam completely without any updates, nothing, just complete for everyone. and I'm gonna sell it because actually Spain is not a good place to find a job, so I need money.
Well, you should. You
Because,
worked really hard on it.
of course, take this is not only for you, for all people. Take every day of my life, or well, my life of these 4 crazy months. Sam, the composer of the game, and Trevor and me. Trevor and Sam are the two composers from the game, and all the game was made by me. The programmation, the animation, the environment, the 3D models, everything is made for me patiently each day of the month working on the game. Like 50 hours each day just for the game. So you can understand each detail that the game will have. It's a game that I made with love, and I wanted that each detail of the game people see that is made with love. And for do that, when you play it, you should look at each detail for understand it. For example, you can see the detail of how when you destroy a skeleton, the bones are flying over there. That's a detail. You could see how when you change a weapon, your interface are moving finely, and that's a detail too. All this kind of details that I thought is to make people stay at the game because they think it's cool. If you do a game without interest, or you do a part of the game, a main menu, right? You do a main menu and it's like, oh, this is just a menu, simple. Alright, but just the menu has to be fucking great. That's what I think. That's why the menu is very cartoony, very animated. The images of Kali, because I wanted to make funny as is possible for people, and that was the idea really, to make people think that the game is alright, making all this kind of stuff, and being very patient, because there's so many times we think that all is bullshit because this is very repetitive. You're gonna do a new enemy that's very funny, but when you have 20 enemies, there will be bugs and things that you have to fix. That's why I have 5 testers of that for play the game, because there's a lot of bugs and items to fix, because it's a big game. It started as a simple game, and became something big, and you didn't expect that.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point with such a large game and so much work that you're putting into it. Along the way, what kind of challenges were you facing when developing this game?
Well, the challenges was as I was saying at the beginning of the game, it was a simple idea. Generate the rooms, we generate the monsters, and you have to clear any room you see to go through the levels. But people doesn't like it so much, the idea of being repetitive, of infinite things being repetitive all the time. So, basing on that into the horror theme of the game, I mixed the survival horror genre with the beat 'em up, and Tick is absolutely the final result, which was very hard to do for me at the game. Really, was the pets and the coop mode from the game. The idea of make a single player game experience turn into funny, friendly coop player mode was really hard to do. The most hardest thing to do on the game, because I was having problems with controllers on the inputs, because the player 2 has to be controlled with a controller, and Steam put away the game for that on Steam at the moment. The bug of the game for that, and people can't enjoy it. That I think the most amazing thing of the game, one of the most, is when I discovered that I can play with my brother, the two killing monsters back with back, and that's amazing experience. Clear rooms with a friend is one of the most amazing experience on Tick, believe me.
Yeah, I know, because that video, my girlfriend and I were playing together, and even if we weren't playing co-op, since it was a little buggy at the time, it was still really fun to just sit there and watch her play.
Yes, really, I was sad at the moment when I saw the ending, because I saw you saying, "Oh, this could be a little bit better," and I was like, "I'm gonna do it better." For the love of God, I'm gonna do it good, And I started every night fixing these bugs just for make the player love the mechanics. Like a simple punches, a simple stuff, fucking good. Like, oh, this feels really good. I just hit it in the face, but it feels really good. You know?
Yeah.
And I just focus absolutely on the beat 'em up, beat 'em up mechanic, and that's the final result. But also, as you may know, if you play the demo, actually the last demo, you'll find that there's jump scares and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, oh hell, fuck you, yes.
Yeah, you already got Otter with one of those jump scares in the original video. I was not expecting that scare. That was a really good one.
Well, now there's animated ghosts and, all this kind of stuff that they are on the screen.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And they surprise you, and that's one of the funny things of the game, actually, I think. Because you're playing the game, and Gravity the Goalies, while you're playing it, there's hallways on first person, and you just walk through them, looking pictures, blah blah blah, and then you look at picture, and the woman of the picture screams at you, and you're fucking scared. So I take it that ID and I put it in the tick to revive Rabbit by the Ghoulies, because it's a very underrated game, and it's an awesome game. It's a rare game from the era, and it's fucking amazing. I recommend you to play it if you like a tick, because it's more it's more insane. Right now. It's called as Tick. It's basically Tick, but on completely 3D environment.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, now it seems like you're kind of starting to talk about like things you really enjoy about the game, things you enjoy about the process. So I have to ask, if you could pick one or two things along the way, maybe events, maybe things about making the actual game, but what was your favorite part?
My favorite part? Wait a second.
Or I should say, what did you enjoy the most?
Well, right now I'm thinking I have two. I don't know if I have to say just one, but I want to say the second one.
No, two is fine. Go ahead and say two.
All right. Well, when you started doing enemies and chapters, is amazing, because you do the animation that looks like Cartoon Network, and with quality and great and good, yeah, and with the items and the weapons, when you do the shotguns and all this stuff, it's very funny to splatter the enemies to the wall. And that's really fun to do. Maybe one of the best things is when you have to do an enemy or a shotgun or a bazooka, a rocket launcher, anything you could do with this game is amazing, because while you're programming, you play it, and it's like, I'm playing, dude. It's fun, and it's something amazing. Even I forget another thing. There's three things. Yes, this is the last one. The bosses are intensely great. Medusa, for example, is the first boss of the game, and you may see that this game is a hard game, because you could think, oh, it's easy to clear a room, all right, but you have to reach 50 rooms to fight the first boss. And a room could be just 1 minute or like that, and it could be hard to reach that. But the bosses are great phases for the game.
Yeah, I would never say your game, The Eerie Adventures of Callie, is easy. It's not an easy game.
For me, maybe it's because I'm. But I think you just have to press X at the right moment, because I just think I'm gonna do an easy combat mechanic. You press X to do a combo, nothing more, just that, and blow anyone on the screen. That's your objective all the time. So some people are like, "Oh my god, this is so hard! Fucking skeletons! Oh my god!"
Well, I think it's hard because you've managed to create an environment where there's multiple different types of enemies coming at you, and none of them operate the same, which is really cool, and it's really hard to do. But it also makes it for I want to watch the animations. I want to watch these things move around, but at the same time, I got to try to not die.
Yes, that was the idea of do this game. Like, I'm gonna do a quality game as hard as possible. Like, oh, look how I move. This is funny. But at the same time, oh my god, I have this guy behind me, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the idea too of this game, to confuse the player each time he do something. Like, for surprise him. That's the idea. And when you fight a boss, it's so hard. So I try to make it, you know, the current demo there's a difficulty selector because some people are so dumb, or you know, they doesn't really play it on their lives a beat 'em up. So easy, you know, difficulty, normal difficulty for everyone is good for them, and there's hard a nightmare. Nightmare, there's no health. You have to try not to die any moment. You can save the game. A nightmare. So there's challenges at this game, a lot of them for people. And for example, I don't know, you understand that, right? I have been 2 years working on Eternal War 2. I never finished this game because I was doing this game with my team. We are 8 people at the moment, made by me, Eternal War 2, and never was finished because we have problems, personal problems, and we have to go. So I was like, I have to do something now. So there's a game jam, a game jolt from the DreamHack, and I was like, I could try something here. And so they did, you know. That was why it started as a simple idea of generated rooms on a roguelike style beat 'em up. That was the idea of Tick, practically. That's why it's so insane and explosive, this game. Each room, you doesn't stop killing everyone. And now the full game Thirsty for Run version, you have to clean the rooms, but also you can, for example, have to find a key to open the door. You have 1 minute to survive to the Ord, you know. All this kind of stuff is part of the final game.
Wow, that's... Yeah. I just looked back at your Game Jolt page to look at your development from that. That looks... I'm probably going to have to go and play that demo because that looks really cool. And you actually got a lot of support on that.
Yes, at the beginning, I was surprised. I was not at all. At the beginning, when I uploaded the game after the game jam, there's one video of TRN, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a video!" And when I look, it puts on the title, "Game Jolt Garbage: Theorems of Kali," and I was like, "What? What I have done?"
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got really mad when I saw that series that guy was doing. I was like, "Come on, dude! Stop trashing games." That's actually, to be honest with you, that's why I started the Game Jolt Adventures series. So I'm like, no, stop trashing games.
Yes, dude. Like, I know. I saw on Game Jolt a lot of games made up by people. Made game with you know, people that are learning and you could see that they're learning. So it's a game that he made by himself and he's learning, and I knew that because when I was development Nightmare from My Bed, people trash the game, but it's you know, one of my first games uploaded to the internet. So this is the same as that on Game Jolt. Tick is made by a guy that had 10 years working on games, so not everyone have this experience as me to do whatever they want on their games. So some people are, you know, are miserable and destroy these guys. But I think they should do that. They should do like, oh, this is a good game, and they should say things like, you could try this. Oh, like, I like when people critique and tell me things like, it could be good if you put here a result screen and this kind of stuff, because brings me information of what could be great for make it better. You know, I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah, and as a new developer, advice like that is so important
Yeah,
because you need to build up to that experience to where you are, where you can sit down and start developing a game. It takes a while to get to that point.
of course. Is that absolutely? You have to focus on the learn. The beginning is going to be a shit. Maybe it's a shit, but hey, it's your shit. You started with that.
That's a good way to put it.
People should understand that, and that's why when they do a game that, well, it's a shit, obviously, but it's their shit. You understand? It's their shit, and with that they learn to maybe the games, because a game is not easy to do. Really, it's easy to do a platformer, but do a platformer with engine and everything is hard to do. Really, not like people think.
Yeah, it's a little deceptively difficult. Well, all right. We've talked about quite a few things today, and I hope people can learn from your experiences and all this stuff we've been talking about. But before we go, I want to give you a chance to do you have any upcoming projects, or do you have any social media accounts that people can follow you on?
Well, I have my account at GameTalk, obviously. I have my channel there. You can see my last videos of my games, and I have the page of Teak of Steam. This will be the next release this month, and I think that Twitter too, if you want. Well, that's all, I guess. And just one thing more. Oh yes, about my my next steps, my next projects, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm planning to do a comedical video movie game. We're talking about a cartoony with a different style from Tick game where two characters live in a house and the world is becoming a shit for everything, the government and this crap, and they should survive with your interactions. And this game would be highly inspired on Dragon's Lair and Ren and Stimpy from Nickelodeon. So that's what I think that I want. Really, I'm gonna do a movie video game because it's a no.
Go ahead.
Because it's a movie and play what you see it. I think that would be great. But first of all, finish Tick.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that game comes from. But I just want to, first off, thank you for joining us here, and I hope that this was as much fun for you as it was for me, and that everyone else can learn from your experiences. So again, thank you for joining me on this show, and good luck with your future projects.
Thank you, man. Go with it. Still learning, and never look back or hear the others. Your heart is what really counts. You should have fun doing what you're working, not while you're doing it. Then start small, grow big. We're making video games, and we should have fun with them. Some devs doesn't understand this, and they fail. So take my advice and still making what you want, really. This is not only for games, but for your life, really. It was 10 years of my life on this, and I always have fun with it. And I think you should do the same. Live for what you want. Do not hear the other ones. Just go with what you want, really. And that's all, guys. Good luck. Have fun.